I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Let's see. Let, did you know we were talking about basketball before we talked to the challenger, Jose Watson. It was Jose Watson. And he said, I'd asked him that during the break, and he says, yeah, my dad was from Mexico, and he wanted us to keep the heritage. But his dad changed his name to Watson.
Yeah.
So this is, and he had like 5 names: Jose, Maria, Watson.
Yeah, Watson.
So anyway, but what a good guy.
But his twin siblings, they don't have those other names.
No.
They're just Watson.
Yeah. It was like Jessica. And
that was good.
All right.
Carl was good.
Yeah. Carl is good. Anyway, we're talking about the basketball. We're talking about the women and how what's his name?
Gino
Auriemma acted like a little wiener boy after the game, and I couldn't believe it.
Thought he was going to fight Don Staley.
Well, he's lucky he didn't.
I bet the language was really nice between them when they were talking to each other.
Well, he said she was cussing the referees during the game.
I know it.
So, anyway, I don't know that.
He said his player, they tore a jersey, too, and his own player tore her own jersey.
Yeah, you need to get your facts right if you're going to go public.
Well, he stayed with it. Even after they shown the video and she admitted it, he still stayed with it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, I think he crossed over.
He's going to have to make an apology.
He wanted to win really bad, and he didn't win.
What made him mad to begin with, it is a tradition or a custom. Before the game, they introduce the starting lineups and the head coaches meet, and I've seen them do it many times, before the game and shake hands. Well, he stood there and waited for her, and she didn't come.
Well, here's the deal, though. It probably never. She's in that huddle talking to her players in front of the biggest game, of the year, maybe of her life, and it probably never crossed her mind to go shake his hand. What he should have done, if he really wanted to make a point, is go over in their huddle and shake her hand before the game.
Yeah, that would.
If you want to make a point, but don't wait till after you get beat, and then stomp your feet and all. So anyway.
It was classless. It really was.
Yeah.
For a guy that's been.
And we know classless.
We've seen it up close.
We've seen classless.
Hey, 25 times he's been to the Final Four, 12 national championships.
Yeah.
And he needs to show respect to the other team.
Well, to the sport.
And to the game of basketball.
People are looking up to him because he's sort of the man.
Yeah, well, he is.
Okay, and here's the man. Okay, so this is how you're supposed to act. No, not necessarily. And believe me, I know how not to act.
I practiced.
That's right.
And how not to act.
Not to act.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. But
all right, here's an interesting deal. Do you want to hear an interesting deal?
Uh-huh. I've been waiting all day to hear something interesting.
That in the NCAA Final Four starts today at 4:09. It may be 3:09 Central. I'm not sure. 4:09, and I think that's Easter. Starts today. 37% of the players will be what, David?
Chinese.
That's a better guess than you ever would have imagined.
They're Eastern European.
Well, just foreign. So they might be Chinese. I don't know. I haven't checked the roster.
They're not.
But 37% are foreign, and that's pretty amazing.
Well, that Illinois team.
Yeah, and Arizona.
They lost their foreigners. They wouldn't have a team.
Yeah, well, Arizona
like 2 guys
struggle a bit without their foreigners. Illinois is favored by 1.5. Growing up, did you say Illinois?
No,
Illinois?
I never did.
Illinois. I think I did. Illinois.
Illinois.
Illinois, even though it ends in an S, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does end in an S.
So it's like RBIs. Illinois. It's got an S on it. Is it a silent S?
It's Illinois. That's all I know.
That's all I know for sure. All right. Illinois is a 1.5-point favorite. Your thoughts on that are?
I think Illinois will win. I think Illinois could win the whole deal. I really do.
And they're the 3 seed, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could win it
That
all.
is a big difference between the men's and the women's is 7, 8, 4. You can see in the Final Four. The women's, it's 1-1 against 1-1. And even those games were almost 10-point games. Women are going to have to find a way to have more competition, more parity.
Tanner just texted, and I did know this. I just pulled up the games for today, but it's 5:09 Central Time. Illinois and UConn, they play at 5:09 on True TV at TBS, and Michigan and Arizona play at 7:49 Central.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
On the same station. I don't know why they're not on CBS.
Well, this says 4:09 and 7:49.
No, it's 5:09. I
think Tanner's wrong.
This is the ESPN deal right there. Well, ESPN's wrong too then.
Well, what I took this off of is wrong. One of them's wrong.
Well, 5:09 on TBS and True TV.
What time are the NCAA basketball games today, the men?
Okay.
You want Oklahoma, Baylor, West Virginia, Creighton? Oh, here it is. Illinois,
Tanner asked
UConn,
AI.
5:09 p.m.
Tanner asked AI. It's never wrong.
All right, Siri's got the same thing as Tanner.
Well, this is the right one. That's ESPN. Remember that Gus sent us this. Remember that Illinois
College basketball
will play us in Lubbock in November or December. Yeah, we get a return date.
Do you know that Oklahoma and Baylor are playing today?
In what?
And West Virginia and Creighton are playing today?
I don't know.
The college basketball crown second round.
I don't know.
I did not even know they were playing.
No.
They used to have the one you had to pay to play in.
They used to have the CBI, but I don't think they're happening this year.
That's probably what this is. College basketball crown second round. West Virginia Creighton. That might be girls.
Maybe.
Why would they play on the same day as the...
They just don't care.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's in Vegas. Well, that's really poorly planned. We're going to play this during the Final Four. That's poorly planned. All right. So anyway, you think Illinois is going to win?
I think Illinois is going to win that game.
All right, and I don't know why I don't particularly care for Hurley, the Connecticut coach. Do you like him?
No.
See, you don't like him, but do you have a reason to not like him?
He's just cocky little bandy rooster out there running around.
Okay, so there's your reasons for. There you have it.
Don't you think? I think he's a narcissist. He's like all proud of himself.
Okay. All right, that might be why I don't like him. He's a cocky little thing running around out there. I just couldn't put it into words as well as you did. You know what
bothered me so bad about that UConn win is the kid hit the shot. I'm proud of the kid. He's a freshman.
Yeah.
The senior had not played good, kind of like Booker. She didn't perform very well. They took him out of the game. Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You know his name.
Oh, what's his name?
But the guy that didn't get mentioned, that got them even where they could have a possibility to win the game, was Reed. That guy in that game played tremendous, and he actually kept them in the game.
And the Duke kid, the All-American.
Cameron Boozer. Player of the Year.
I mean, he's got, and that's what he's going to be remembered for.
No, that was his brother that threw it away.
Oh, was it his brother?
Caden. Yeah, Cameron threw him the ball. And then Caden, he didn't have to do anything.
Oh, he could have dribbled. He could have
just leaned over and
held the ball if they had the possession arrow. I don't know who had the possession arrow.
Yeah.
He could have done almost anything except what he did.
Throw it away.
Oh.
But was that fun to watch that shot go in? I loved it.
Well, I sort of like Duke, and I know people don't like them.
Yeah.
But I sort of like Duke.
I like him too. I like Shire.
I've never really had a reason not to like Duke.
I like Krzyzewski.
I liked him a lot.
You know, I was listening to a video. Did I tell this last week? I listened to a video.
That's right. They weren't listening.
Mike Krzyzewski. And he says, the greatest advice I ever got, I thought he was going to say something from Coach Knott, and he didn't. The greatest advice that I ever got in my whole life was from my mama. When we moved to this other place, I took a bus into town, and I've been doing it for a while. And my mama one day says, "Son, make sure you get on the right bus." And
Good advice.
And he goes, "Mama, I ride the bus a lot. I know what bus to get on." She goes, "That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what bus you're going to get on with the people you're going to be with."
Yeah.
And that is great advice.
And you parents, David and I are a little older than the typical radio people. We've lived a lot of life here. Check your kids' friends.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're going to gravitate toward, is the behavior that their friends have. And if you want some more advice, as long as we're giving advice, get their nose off their darn phones and make them do anything else.
Yeah.
Maybe go outside.
Limit screen time.
There you go. Limit screen time.
And they want screen time, I'm telling you.
Yes, they do.
It's unbelievable. So, all right, Illinois and UConn at 5:09. Illinois is favored by 1.5. Michigan is favored by 1.5 over Arizona. And I had this deal here, and they had these picks. These guys made picks, these smart guys, supposedly. I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Not one of them picked Michigan.
And I think Michigan's going to win it, and I hope I'm wrong. I'm for Arizona just because of the Big 12, and I know there are people that don't feel like you need to pull for the Big 12. Let me tell you, you need to pull for the Big 12 in everything, because it's more important now than ever that your conference is seen in a good light so that kids will come to your conference instead of going to the easy route, the SEC or the Big Ten. So,
this one guy says that this Jordan Mendoza Watson said,
yeah, really. Well, that's sort of different. Jordan Mendoza.
Yeah. The Wolverines score 100 points and still lose against Arizona.
Well, it might be.
Yeah.
And last night, the women's game,
yeah,
it's only the third time ever, because I'm sitting there watching it going, oh, my gosh. And even the UCLA coach apologized for the play. After the game, she apologized, because I'm sitting there going, thank you, because I'm watching that going, and I don't watch much women's basketball.
She's a fireball.
And I was watching that going, oh, my gosh, this is hard to watch. And she agreed. And it's because the referees just let them. And they'll let them play, just push and hack and whack, and then all of a sudden they'll call a foul, and you go, well, why? I mean, it's almost like they got an egg timer in their pocket, and when the sands go through, they call a foul.
Yeah. This guy named John, it doesn't matter what his name is. I appreciate what he said. Terrace Reed Jr. is that guy that I'm talking about from UConn. He said there hasn't been a more dominant player than Terrace Reed in the NCAA tournament, and I would agree with that. Guy, he has been tremendous. And if UConn has a chance to win, it will be because of him, because he is a force inside. Koa Pete, Keaton Wagler, Jaden Bradley from Arizona. These are Alex Caravan. He's the guy that didn't play well, senior. He's already won 2 national championships, Caravan has.
I tell you. All right, Steve Pickle used to hate it when someone approached him and his teammates at the airport and asked him what school they played for. The stranger would hear the UConn and notice the Husky logo, and he'd say and ask, is that in Alaska? He says, no, it's Yukon, not Yukon. And he said, it's an easy mistake. This is back in the 80s, before the former agriculture college, surrounded by nothing but livestock and farmland, became an unlikely destination for some of the nation's best decorated basketball prospects. Now UConn is the center of college hoop universe, home to twin dynasties that have combined for 33 Final Four appearances, 18 national championships. UConn has been the women's basketball standard bearer for more than 3 decades. The men have emerged as a modern-day blue blood, climbing to a tie for third behind, listen to this, they're third behind UCLA and Kentucky for the most national titles of any program anywhere. And it said it's even more fascinating that they didn't even have one until 1999.
It's got 6 now.
Yeah.
It is really amazing.
But that doesn't mean I'm pulling for them.
I'm not for UConn. We'll be right back. More Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
All righty, RoofWise.
You bet. If you want to make the wise choice for your next roof, use RoofWise. And RoofWise, I tell you, Sean Gray and Dusty Street own the place, but Edgar's sort of the man you want to talk to. Edgar just really helped me with my roof, and I'm going to give you their phone number. It's 806, that's easy to remember, 500-7089. 806-500-7089, RoofWise, and use those folks. They do a great job. And I just got a new roof from RoofWise, and Lofton Construction just painted my fence and my house and my rent house. And I'm going to give you Jason's phone number, 806-544-4088, if you need your house painted. And let's see, what else we got, David? You want to do Connecticut?
Yep, go ahead and do Connecticut while I'm here.
I love Connecticut.
I do too.
Because I like the people that own it. I like the people that operate it. And they've been, over 40 years here in West Texas and the surrounding area. And it says they remove over 99.99% of contaminants. And you can get delicious tasting water where you don't have to go down to the store and buy water. It ought to go against everything you stand for, to buy water. Just get your Connecticut system, and you'll have soft water for your skin, soft water for your eyes, soft water for your drinking. And Lubbock doesn't have soft water, but you can buy soft water, and it will come right through your pipes. Okay.
Life is hard.
Life is hard. Water shouldn't be.
Water shouldn't be.
Let me give you their phone number real quick. 806 again, 368-4736. 368-4736, Connecticut of West Texas.
Keith Beal. Let me tell you about Mission Service Companies. This is my son, Tanner Thetford. And I can't hardly keep up with all the stuff he's got going on, but this landscape maintenance company is huge, and he would love to help with whether it's residential or commercial. He's got a pool service now. He would build pools. He's got the spraying service that he takes care of weeds on all you oil and gas people out there here in the middle of Odessa. He's got a company that he's got all the equipment down there, and he can take care of all the weed spraying, guarantees his work. And just fantastic. Does Christmas lights at Christmas and all that kind of stuff. Call 806-632-6325. 806-6325, and tell them you want the Thetford and Ashby discount at Mission
And there really
Service
is one.
Company.
And, Tanner guarantees his work, and here's something I'll guarantee you. You're getting a great kid when you use Tanner.
Oh, man, that's for sure.
That's for sure. For sure. All
really
right.
Proud of you.
Got problems at our airports, David. Do you know the busiest airports in the United States?
Do I know them? I know the one in Atlanta, Hartman or whatever it's called.
Hartsfield.
It's one of the busiest. Denver is one of the busiest.
Okay.
Chicago O'Hare.
Okay.
I'm guessing New York, LaGuardia, I don't know, Kennedy, whatever they are.
Yeah. Well, you ought to probably guess Los Angeles, too.
Yeah.
All right, you left one
LAX.
out. You left Dallas out.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Left DFW out, but they're number 2. Atlanta's 1, Dallas 2, Denver 3, Chicago 4, Los Angeles 5, New York 6. And here's one that I've experienced recently, and it is Las Vegas. That's number 7. I wouldn't have guessed that. Orlando, Florida, with all the tourists that they have down there. Miami, Florida. Why anybody would fly to Miami, I don't know, but apparently people do. And here's number 10 that I would probably give you 50 guesses.
Detroit.
And you might not guess Charlotte, North Carolina.
Whoa.
Number 10.
Detroit's not that busy.
All right, where is Lubbock?
We're number 83.
Detroit's number 20, just to help.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
So I feel better.
Yeah.
When that's stupid.
They're behind LaGuardia. All right, Lubbock, Texas, as you said, number
83.
And you would be wrong.
Oh.
It's higher.
Higher? You mean it's better?
No.
It's the other way.
A bigger number.
Okay. 137.
Okay. That's way close. 129. And here's who we're between. We are between number 128, Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that. This one might get you a little bit embarrassed. Number 130, remember we're 129. We just nosed out Fargo, North Dakota, which I'm a little surprised at that. And Amarillo is 144. So we're just a little bit ahead of Amarillo. So there you have it. I've had this in there for a long time, and I thought,
well, we're probably a lot better than that now.
Since we're having TSA problems, I thought we'd break that out today.
Yeah.
Now I can throw it away.
What if we need to refer back to it?
I can get it out of that pile back there.
All right.
Okay. Michigan.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to read this. Michigan and Arizona are pretty clearly the two best teams in the field. Ken Palm, who apparently, I don't know who he is, but Ken Palm seems to be the guy on this stuff.
He's an analyst, and it's really in detail.
All right. The detail guy has them as the third and fourth best teams ever.
Oh.
And ever is a long time.
I don't believe that.
He said, all right, we say not sold yet, and it sounds like you're not.
I'm not.
Not sold yet. This is just the fifth matchup in Final Four history between 35-win teams, and the second since the tournament expanded in 1985 between teams who won each of their first 4 games by double digits. I'm a little surprised at that, but that shows you the difference between the men and the women. The women, they're almost all double-digit games.
Yeah.
Almost every. I bet 90% of their games were double-digit games.
UConn has won 54 in a row, and they're undefeated this year, and they got beat 12.
By double digits. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Texas should have been beat by double digits. I went and put the dog to bed and came back, and all of a sudden it was a close game. But anyway, let's see. This is just the fifth.
What do you do when you put the dog to bed? Do you
each
pat it and do that kind of stuff?
Guys, it's the cutest thing ever. And this literally might be the cutest dog ever. Best little personality. But Terry usually puts him to bed, but I did last night. He didn't do as good with me putting him to bed. Terry will lay him on his back and cover him up.
No.
And cover him up, and he's laying there on his back covered up. And we just walk out, and he's never a peep. Last night I put him to bed, put him on his back, and he didn't stay on his back that long. Turns over, and he actually, I guess he knows I'm an easy touch.
Yeah.
So Gaki ain't gonna come back and do nothing. So he. But anyway, I came back and UT.
What's the dog's name? The puppy.
Winston. And
Winston Watson.
I don't know why it's Winston, but it is.
Sounds a little rich. Winston.
Yeah, he sounds sort of. Well, he does seem sort of aristocratic.
He's kind of uppity, isn't he?
He's something else. He's the darndest thing.
Does that other dog Raider? What's the other dog?
We did have a Raider, but that's like 5 dogs ago.
Oh. What's the other dog you got?
Bandit. And before that, we had Opie.
Yeah, but Bandit like him?
Not particularly. I'll tell you, and this is the truth, Bandit did not like him at all. Didn't like Winston at all. I mean, he would jump down and just pin him to the ground. It looked like big-time wrestling. I mean, and it was a mismatch because he's got like Andre the Giant against one of the little midgets that's midget wrestler. And he gets down and just pins him to the ground and just stands over him like, what are you going to do about it? But we took Winston because he's too little to leave at the house. We took him to Ruidoso with us.
Yeah.
And when we come back, I think Bandit was so lonely that he goes, okay, I'll accept
We'll
you.
be buddies.
I need a friend, and you're going to have to do. So anyway, they get along way better now.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Let's see. What else
Bob
we got
Pikowski wants to know if you can, you can.
Exactly what did he want to know?
Well, he wants to know if he can watch Udo.
Somebody's at my door.
On the, and you can go to doublet973.com, and you can actually, they save them on YouTube or something, I don't know, but you can watch the show.
Yeah.
The replay of the show. And Bobo, I don't know if you're listening right now, but that you could do that.
Text him.
Yeah, I'll text him later.
Okay.
He actually asked you, so you got to text him.
Okay. Oh, Bobo. All right, you ready for the All-American team?
I don't know. For what sport?
Men's basketball.
Yeah.
There's a freshman, Darius Acuff.
Arkansas.
He ain't bad. I'm not going to go into details.
Oh, he's really
on this.
good.
And this must be one of your foreigners here. It's Yaxel Lindenborg.
Yeah, Michigan.
He's
done.
He's a graduate student.
Yeah, he's old.
Wow. Mr. Linden, whatever his name was. This didn't print.
I'm just afraid that everybody thinks that the Arizona-Michigan game is the national championship game. And when you start thinking like that, then the winner of that game is at a disadvantage against if they play Illinois or UConn.
Well,
it's just not
you got
good
to
to
feel
talk
like they're
that
going
way.
to pour a lot of emotion, and then 2 days later, whoever wins either one of these games is going to have to play again. And it's just whoever. It's sort of like the toughest mentally.
It's a tough
But I think
deal.
what they're trying to get across is Michigan.
And who would have ever thought that North Carolina State in 1983 would beat Phi Slamma Jamma? Nobody thought that.
Nobody.
And they did. And it's
Nobody at
legend
all.
now. It's really a legend.
All right. And then I think second team on this one was J.T.
Toppin. Yeah, he was second team All-American. He was first team All-American on another team.
Yeah.
And they got several teams.
That's very impressive to be
yes.
first team All-American, and you only played 2/3 of the season.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I'm going to read this about Toppin because he's our guy. I hope he's our guy again. Toppin's National Player of the Year campaign ended when suffering a season-ending knee injury February 17th against Arizona State. In 25 games, so he played 25 games,
Yeah.
he averaged career highs with 21.8 points per game, and then it cut off the rest. But his over 10 rebounds a game.
Yep. He was a double-double.
He was a good
average.
Without a doubt. Oh, speaking of now that we're on Tech basketball, all the talk about your buddy, your old teammate, McCasland,
Yeah.
maybe
He can go
up
anywhere.
for all of these other jobs.
Well, he's up for him because who wouldn't want him?
Yeah.
That's the reason we're so glad we have him. And I guess they could pay him enough that might make him change his mind. But he really loves Lubbock. And Cece loves Lubbock. And they the goat farm.
What was that show with Robert Redford and Demi Moore? And it's one of those deals where Woody Harrelson, and she's married or dating Woody Harrelson.
He
I think
pays
they're
for it.
married.
Yeah.
And when you're saying that they could give him enough money will almost do anything. It can't do anything, but it can almost.
Get close.
It can get awful close. So
I know he offers her a bunch of money to sleep with him or something.
Yeah.
Robert Redford does.
I don't even remember how it ends, but
As good looking as he was, you would think he wouldn't have to do that.
yeah. I mean, I know a lot of women he could charge. I'm teasing.
Oh, Udo's
Honey,
Goose
I'm
sent us
teasing.
his workout equipment. It's a Thigh Master. That's what
Sure
it
looks
is.
like. It looks sort of kinky.
It looks like an alien.
It does.
I don't think I'd tell anybody that I use that at all. All right, the morning drive had a deal. I think it's 2 weeks ago, and I thought we might do this last week, but we got a little time today since we don't have any more guests. And we tried to get Cody Campbell. I think we may have him next week. I hope so, because he's sort of in the news right
Good
now.
luck.
Between him and Yormark.
He's busy. Oh, well, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, they sort of got
Because
their-
I thought Cody Campbell did run the Big 12, but Yormark says he doesn't.
He runs this part of the Big 12.
Oh, okay. I thought
Our
he was-
little piece of the Big 12. So, and actually,
he's Yormark. I guarantee you Cody Campbell wouldn't have put a glass floor in to play basketball on. He knows smarter than that.
I don't know if you can advertise on it. And
No, it's all about dollars. It's all, I'm
that's
sick
what
of
it is.
everything being about dollars.
Yeah.
How about loyalty and tradition and those kinds
we
of things?
just talked about that a second ago.
Who?
That our coach we feel like's loyal, but if they give him if they give him enough
Well,
money.
all right, Grant, you can't leave. We got loyalty and tradition.
And the thing is, he may, in his mind, thinking, I ain't going nowhere, but it's not smart to say, I ain't going nowhere,
Yeah.
because we will wind up having to give him another $1 million or something, just because somebody else is going to.
Yeah,
And
we
then
want to keep him.
it just keeps going higher. And that's why little programs can never advance. It's because it's money. It's a money thing.
I really hope Grant stays. I think Grant's he's really an impressive young coach. He really
Didn't
is.
his wife graduate here?
Yeah, she's track star.
Yeah.
At Texas Tech
University.
When he was here as a graduate assistant or whatever you want to call it with Coach Dickey is when they met.
Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons to stay here. And don't they have goats and stuff?
Yeah, they got a little
Once you
farm.
get goats
They got
and chickens
donkeys
and stuff like that,
and she's got a rock climbing facility now that she opened. Yeah. Cece did.
There you go.
They got a business here.
There you go.
I hope that, and I know he loves it, but it's just like Joey McGuire, our football coach. He don't mince words about it.
No.
I ain't going nowhere. This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
And I love that about that.
And I really, really, really think our basketball coach feels the same way.
I do too.
It's just that he's maybe
she played soccer.
Might be a better.
Cece played soccer. Who just sent me that?
Probably Gus.
My wife, Jan.
Sounds very Gussish.
No, my wife, Jan, sent
Gus did send something earlier. What was it?
Well, people don't remember Jan. She could play track. She can run track.
Yeah, she could have if she wanted to. Gifted. All right, Gus earlier, talking about Gus and text. He said, remember that Illinois team will play us in Lubbock in November or December.
I read that. Did you hear me?
Bring them on.
We get a return game because we played them. And they're good.
Unless they buy their way out of it, and I'm sure you can buy your way out of it.
Yeah.
Back to money, aren't we?
And what kind of music we playing there?
It's random.
No, let's don't do random. Let's do old stuff for our show.
For those of you that are still awake after that random music, we'll be back right after this message.
Yeah.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, Lubbock Truck Sales. And I don't know trucks. This is Cody and James Kinsey. They built this business from the ground up, started back in 1990. And it's amazing what they put together and what great supporters they are of our community and Texas Tech with the big trucks that they provide. And but you're just talking about first-class organization. And a lot of there's a lot of people have trucks because I see them. When I go on the highway, they are everywhere.
You know what? If you go in the back of a restaurant and look at the kitchen and see how clean it is and all that, you have a pretty good idea about how it's run. Well, let me tell you what, their 26-bay service area, you could eat off the floor in there, and that just shows you the pride they take in their business.
I think they pay a guy, that's his only job.
That's his job.
Keep everything clean all the time. It's just a first-class organization. Just outside the loop on the Slayton Highway, Cody Kinsey, James Kinsey, and Lubbock Truck Sales, y'all. They ought to be your company if you're one of the. And a lot of people need trucks, and they can help you. They would love to help you.
You think you know Medicare? You don't know Medicare. But Lori Castler does know Medicare, and she's at Senior Benefits Solutions. That phone number is 781-3804, 781-3804. No charge to go in and sit down there and visit and get you some knowledge. And I like locally owned. And I tell you how much I love my mother-in-law. We took my mother-in-law down there, sat her down in front of Lori Castler. And we're going to come pick her up next week, Lori.
She's still there.
She's still there. No, but she's a firm believer in Lori Castler, let me tell you that. So anyway.
You got your sweet mother-in-law. You'd never leave her.
Nope. And then I love my wife, too, and I took her car down to Clearview Auto Glass. And they're Brad's our horse racing specialist. He's our guru. And he also owns Clearview, and that is 791-4311. Make a reservation. Go down and drop it off before lunch. Go eat lunch. Come pick it up. How's that? By golly. Okay, and the very top of this is what I do during the night. I roll over and I write stuff down. Tom's Tree Place, 10 a.m. They're going to have 9,000 eggs. I bet they're all gone by now. So anyway, I apologize. I forgot to take it out of my pocket. We've covered most everything else that was on my things to talk about.
Thank goodness. All right.
Oh, we talked about the UCLA coach. Her name is Corey Close.
Yeah, Corey Close. She's fireball.
And she said we ought to abolish rugby because she said that's what our game was like tonight.
Yeah, I saw the interview with Scott Van Pelt last night, and she did a very good job, very classy. Of course, she won. She won. So it's easier to be classy when you win, right?
It's easier, yeah, without a doubt. But that just shows you, I don't know why or when the referees decided to just say, y'all go ahead, we'll be over here. If you get in a brawl, we'll help break it up.
It's just gotten so out of control that they don't even know what to call anymore.
Yeah.
And Booker girl ran out there, they're pressing at the end. She runs into the UCLA girl on the sideline, and they called a charge on the UCLA girl. I'm thinking there wasn't one thing about that was a charge.
Well, I'm surprised they called anything.
Well, they knocked them down.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's hard when they knock them down.
So anyway, I think we've covered everything. I know I had one more thing on my little list here, and that's that McIntyre was 14 under going in today at the Texas Open. Ludwig Aubert 10 under. So he's got a chance. Don't
He's
think
in the
for
mix.
a second he ain't going to be in the mix.
All right, I will tell you that I'm going to tell you about Golf USA. Speaking of golf, and by the way, I've got the Texas Tech. They were the Big 12 weekly award winners a week ago, and this was Denise Vodakova for the women's golf team, Denisa, and Greg. You know, the Ben Gregg, the men who won the Valero, they both were the Big 12 golfers of the week. And I'm telling you, we're good in golf in both men and women. The men are exceptionally good, and the women are really good,
too. We talked about 37% of the basketball players are foreign. I think that might be 37% of our golf team may be the same. And the last thing on my list,
white people basketball players from the foreign countries.
Yeah. On why they're better over there than they are over here.
I don't know. Our black players are really good here.
Yeah,
really good.
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
I don't know why they're white.
Last thing on my list, and I'm going to wad it up and throw it away, is the baseball game yesterday was 4 hours and 51 minutes.
Perfect. You know,
you can go play a round of golf, sit down and have a drink with the buddies, and drive home in that amount of time.
It's out of control.
Out of control.
And softball. By the way, we lead the Big 12, as you know, 13-1 in the Big 12. Arizona's 9-3, Kansas 7-4. But we won 12 in a row overall. We're 37-2, number 2 in the country, and right now number 2.
You say we're 13-1
in the conference.
And would you think if you saw a team that's 13-1 that their one loss, they were run ruled?
They were run ruled by Arizona.
Sort of go figure.
You know? And then they came back the next 2 games and run-ruled Arizona.
Yeah, sort of go figure.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
We're really good. And I will tell you this, too, about what else was I going to talk about?
Something important.
Yeah, it was good. Oh, our men's and women's track team are at the 98th running of the Clyde Littlefield Texas Relays in Austin.
Texas Relays.
And we're doing really good. And we're ranked number 2 in the country in men's outdoor track.
Oh, wow. Well,
where are our women ranked?
6th.
Number 2. We're number 2 in both.
Oh, okay.
Men's and women's. We're ranked number 2
Wes told us
in the nation.
That we would be better outdoors than we were indoors.
We're really.
And it sounds like, as long as you keep healthy, that's the key. All right, Red Raider Club. I don't think we've done their spot, so we'll just make this their spot. Got my little deal from the Red Raider Club. I'm going to give you the little highlights they have here. We had 8 Big 12 titles last academic year, with the first Big 12 titles in school history in women's track and field, indoor and outdoor. First Big 12 title in school history in football. First Big 12 title in school history in softball. First Women's College World Series appearance in school history. Let's see, athletes served 385 athletes took advantage of Red Raider Club funding. Let's see, 64 first-generation college students. Wow. 110 4-point GPAs and an 84% graduation rate. That's pretty good because about 15% came here never thinking they were going to graduate. They just want to play ball. Let me play some ball. Let's see. Teams with a fall term cumulative GPA over 3%, 3.0, 13 of 13 sports.
Whoa,
all
that's
3.0.
Excellent.
There you go.
And if you think we can do it with just the rich people, we need everybody. The Red Raider Club needs you. These commercials they do with the coaches and Kirby, and they're not just blowing smoke. We need everybody. If you're a Red Raider and you love Texas Tech, and boy, there are thousands and hundreds of thousands, we need you in the Red Raider Club because they're doing great work for we'll be all we can be.
Yeah, we need your money, but we also need you. We need you to be a part.
Great fan.
Be a part.
You know, we were talking about track, and Tech's got a couple of athletes right now. Deshaun Boyce, he was the man of the week, and Alyssa Colbert for Texas Tech. But Boyce, get this, Gary, in the outdoor season in the 400 meters, he won the event down there in 45.32. That leads the Big 12. And it's second in the nation, and that's Boyce. And then Colbert won the 100 meters in a wind-dated 10.99 at the Masquerader Open. That leads the Big 12 and the nation with her time. I asked them for some Christian music here on Easter. Are y'all practicing?
Oh, that was my phone.
Oh, good. They thought, oh, no, we've messed up. Raymond. What is it? Raymond?
I think it's Ramon.
It's Roman.
It's Roman. Can you mind if I call you Watson? Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try to. Are you caught up?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try and do some of these texts that we've gotten. I'm not going to proof them, so I'm running at my own risk here. Texter says 5 hours of totally inept, terrible baseball. I cannot imagine. At what point does the seat begin to get hot for this entire coaching staff? That's from DPI. DPI, I think we've got great coaching staff. We probably could use a little bit more money directed toward the program. Because when you see the SEC and you see how great they've got it all going on over there in baseball, but they are directing money to baseball. What we've got to decide is, do we want to be really great at baseball, which I think we can be if we buy the right players. I think we've got the right coaches. If we buy the right players, buy enough of the right pitchers.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to do. You can't just go recruit them. I really like those coaches. Well, they really like coaches, but they like that paycheck even more than the really good coaches. So we can be as good as we want to be. What we've chosen is to be good at football and men's basketball. That's the decision we have made out there. And then we had a booster decided that we wanted to be good at softball. So we're good at softball. But they're fixing to change the rule where you only got the pie is only so big now, and you can only do so much of that NIL stuff. So I think what we've decided is, and I think if people voted, they'd say, I vote football, I vote men's basketball.
Yeah. Well, what's going to happen when they get these rules is that's going to open it up for the people that don't mind breaking the rules.
Right.
Which they've always been here.
Not here.
No, always been in sports.
Yeah, without a doubt.
In college sports.
Yeah.
And you wondered how they got to be blue bloods and the best of the best. It's because they cheated. They paid kids to come play. And it's just what Coach Knight thinks.
Yeah, and he's right. All right, here's the next texter. The Oklahoma-Baylor game is at noon on Fox. West Virginia-Creighton is 3 o'clock on Fox. Both are men's games. The Final Four starts at 5. No contradiction between the two tournaments. Okay, so it's just going to be a full day of basketball if you want to watch Baylor and Oklahoma and Creighton and West Virginia.
Baylor men's basketball still playing? That's weird.
It is way weird. I didn't even know that tournament existed until it just popped up.
Well, they had a CBI. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
But that went away this year. But now this one.
Well, this one is CB something. CBC.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I guess it exists. They're on TV today. All right. Texter says, tune in for today's version of Hurley making a buffoon of himself. Okay.
Well, now, this. Yeah, he does make a buffoon of himself.
All right, here's a texter. Gary, my dad used to take me to some of the fast pitch tourneys in the early 80s. Some of the names I remember were David Lockett, Darrell Rosenau, N.E. Stevens, Paul Lopez, and possibly Larry Hayes. Yeah, Larry would have been one of them. Larry played professional fast pitch up in Montreal. Larry was a good one. I played with both Larry and Darren. Larry's two boys.
Did you play with Darryl Rosenau?
Yeah, oh Lord, yeah.
He's
Darryl
the field
Rosenau.
at Coronado's named after him.
Darryl Rosenau was an Aggie, and he's like 15 years older than me. He was pretty old to be playing. But Larry, we're sitting in the motel room, and it's sort of like we were talking about earlier. There's probably like 6 of us sitting on the bed and in chairs watching TV. And Larry got it where Darryl, when he'd walk by the TV, he had the clicker and he would change the channel. And he'd go, Darryl, quit walking by the TV. You're messing up the deal. And Darryl would walk back by and Larry'd change his channel. And they had Darryl going. Larry had Darryl going on that.
He thought it was him walking by.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Okay, texter. Oh, this is from Joe V. The name Goose was a CB radio handle. I was Tony Lama because I booted the ball a lot.
I don't remember that.
No, I guarantee he didn't boot the ball a lot.
Joke play.
All right, and this texter says, how about Tech getting rid of pitching coach Matt Gardner last year? Fast forward, 1 year, Gardner is now with Houston and comes back to Lubbock. Tech's pitching staff is now atrocious, and Houston is putting the beat down on Tech. Yeah, I don't know if it's a beat down, but they're like 2 games. It's very slow pitch softballish though, where you best score. When you get a chance to score, you better score, because I think it's 13-10, and then the first game was 10-9 or something. I'm guessing.
Yeah. What are you asking me?
But the statement was about us letting Gardner go. I think we look at it now and go, well, I don't know that our pitching's any better right now than it was. But let me tell you, if you've got the right pitchers, you could have David go out there, and you're gonna win. You got to have the horses to win the race.
First game we lost 8-6. Then we got beat 13-10 in 11 innings.
Okay.
And we play at noon today, and we're going to get out of here in 15 minutes for the pregame show. And I do want to clear up something. Okay. We're talking about Dan Hurley, the coach of the Yukon Huskies, and he kind of prima donna, kind of arrogant, narcissist kind of a guy, real proud of himself. This isn't the Daniel Hurley that's an attorney here in Lubbock. He's a good friend, and he's an awesome guy.
And I don't think he knows much basketball.
I know.
Excellent attorney, though.
He is great. The Hurley family in Lubbock for a long, long time. This is a good family, and somebody would have thought, well, they're talking about Dan Hurley.
If Terry and I were ever going to get a divorce, and we're not, but if we were ever going to get a divorce, we would race to see who could get to Dan Hurley first. That's how good an attorney Dan
He's
Hurley
so good,
is.
He could handle both of y'all.
That's right. And probably would for the right fee.
Yeah.
All right. This texter says, Tech baseball needs a billionaire. Yes, everybody needs a billionaire. Yes, without a doubt. Ludwig tees off at 8:06. How fitting.
8:06.
Yeah. Oh, that may be a sign. And that's as far back as I can go on my texts.
All right. We got one more little segment coming up here. Texas Tech baseball pregame show at 11:30 right here on Double T 97.3, and then the game, first pitch at 12 o'clock. Be wrapping up tonight about 7.
All right, and you heard it here. I am guaranteeing a victory.
Texas Tech baseball, guaranteeing.
Texas Tech baseball, I'm guaranteeing. And softball. 2 guarantees.
Good job. I'll do the softball.
You heard them here.
You do the baseball.
2 guarantees.
You've been listening to the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live Saturday mornings from 9 to noon on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.